as far as you being at a Trump rally, you basically working within the people within his campaign to try to help keep that fight alive? Like, what do you kind of see from like the outside looking in and the inside looking out?
Definitely the inside looking out. You alluded to before that I'm gone for months at a time. I'm actually my company, they were gracious enough. They asked me, when was the last time you were home? I said May or June. There's a go home, visit your wife and son. So I've been in just north of Detroit, Michigan here, working with the Trump campaign. I employ about 60 different people, and we are actually actively going up through Oakland County areas in Michigan, which is in the Detroit area, getting people to support Donald Trump. And we're finding that we're very successful in doing that, because people are starting to see through the lies and through the deception that the media has and that this communist Marxist party is doing. And what it is, I guess it's surprising to a lot of people, is of the 60 people that I employ, I'd say 75% of them are from the Black community of Detroit. And they're conservatives, and they're voting for Donald Trump, and they're getting their friends and their family to vote for Donald Trump, because their words, not mine. You know, because I asked them, I said, what made you switch over from being a Democrat to, supporting Donald Trump? And they're like, well, we've heard for years what they're going to do for us, and every single year nothing happens. But when Donald Trump was in there 4 years ago, things were better for us.
Yeah.
Money. We had jobs. We had opportunities. He didn't just say he was going to do it. It actually happened. And then now on Biden-Harris regime, they want you to look forward, not backwards, because if you look backwards over the past 3.5 years, all these failures that you don't like, guys, that's not Donald Trump. That is the border czar. That is APM Joe. That's why their slogan is not only is a communist, but their slogan is, just like Obama said, move forward. Why? Because they don't want you going backwards, because they are backwards.
It's like they don't want you to study the history or something.
Right. And even just now, like just even backwards, like to like last year, they didn't want you to forget about it because they've screwed it up so bad. They want you to look forward. Right. And I know this isn't groundbreaking news or anything, because it's all over Facebook. It's all over Instagram. Right. But Kamala says, on day one, I'm going to do this. Bordazai, you're in power now. You don't have to wait till day one to do anything.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're going to do it now. President Trump called her out during the 3-on-1 debate, I guess if you want to call it. He said, look, I would much rather shut this whole debate down right now. Let's go down to the Capitol and let's shut the border down, because you can do it right now. Anything that you say that you're going to do on day one there, Bordaza, you can do it right now. So if you actually believe that anything that she says she's going to do, she's not going to do, because she has the ability to do it right now. No, President Trump, when you ask him, how are you going to solve this? What is your answer to inflation? It's not, well, I grew up in a middle-class family. My mom was single, and I worked at McDonald's, which is a lie, right?
Yeah, that was disturbing. I'm not going to lie.
He actually answered the question, because during the town hall, they said, well, they asked, Mr. President, what are you going to do on day one that's actually going to take away inflation? He said, I'm going to do 3 things. 1, I'm going to get us out of the Paris Accord. For those of you that don't know what the Paris Accord is, it's basically the new Green Deal over in Europe, where the climate change is ruining the world, and you bad human beings are killing everybody, which is a hoax and a whole other level. If you want to talk to me about it, believe me, I'll educate you there too. 2, well, then that Paris Accord costs us billions upon billions of dollars every year, where we actually now again, this is a European thing, but yet we're fronting 60 to 65% of the entire bill.
Yeah.
That means only 35 to 40% of the European nations are paying for their own climate change research. Okay. So he's pulled us out before, he's going to pull us out again. So that's money that's influxed right back into our economy, because we're not spending it stupidly. 2, he's going to open up the Myanmar area of Alaska, which means we're going to be heading back towards energy independence. And 3, he's going to authorize the building of the Keystone Pipeline. that XL pipeline that Biden shut down on day one, the Miramar area that Biden shut down on day one. So when those things happen, what happens is all your energy costs instantly drop. Oil and gas and electricity, all that instantly drops. Why? Because America's back on the path of becoming energy independent. And there isn't a product out there. I don't care if TNT Health makes it. I don't care if Clifton makes it. I don't care if Walmart makes it, Kraft, whomever. We all depend on oil, gas, coal, and electricity to make our products. Every machine runs on it. Every vehicle runs on it. Everything that we do to produce products all runs on it. So if we can drop the cost of energy right from day one, like Mr. Trump is going to do, like President Trump is going to do, instantly you see deflation within a couple of hours of him sitting in that Oval Office again. What's Kamala's supporters' answer?
Business.
I'm going to help the middle class because that's where I grew up. But what's your plan? And if you actually plan, it's scary.
Yeah, it kind of boils down, Mike. I'm not gonna lie. It's, and I've talked to Seda about this many times. It's like, I'd rather go with someone, like they say, it's the lesser, you could say the lesser of two evils, but it's like, I'd rather go with the devil I know versus the devil I don't know. At least I know what to expect with Donald Trump. I don't know what the hell to expect with Kamala Harris, other than probably a whole bunch of bullshit, to be quite honest. Because this is what I will say about Donald Trump. This is what I will say. I mean, he is someone who's going to basically, he says something and then he actually does what he says. That I have respect for. And one thing where he earned my respect personally was the fact that he went to North Korea when no other U.S. president in the history has ever done that. He, after calling out Kim Jong-un, saying you have a big button that's going to blow us up with nukes. I have a bigger one. What do you really want to do about it? That calmed Kim Jong-un down so much to the point where he invited him over to North Korea, and he actually went. And that's when they took the picture together. I'll never forget the moment of watching that on CNN. That was the day where, I'm not going to lie, Mike, Donald Trump earned my respect right then and there. I'm like, okay, he's not as crazy as I thought he was. I mean, he's still crazy, but in a good way, because he went to North Korea. Like, Barack Obama didn't go to North Korea. Bush never went to Korea. Bill Clinton, we can go down the list of every single president. Last time I checked, none of them went to Korea since maybe the Korean War, if that. But still, it's like, that alone kind of just lets me know, hey, we need that man back in office more so than ever, especially with the times that we're in. And me personally, I wouldn't be as disappointed as a lot of people if he were to be the president again, because I'd be like, well, the system's already broken as it is. We might as well have him shatter it to pieces and he can help rebuild it to where it should be and stuff. And it's a lot that's going on within that landscape. And it's like, hey, we need somebody to help, explain the importance of taking the fights, which is why I appreciate you and everything that you're doing with, of course, the Mike Duckerberg podcast and everything, and the lives that you be doing, educating the people about all this stuff, because somebody has to say the truth of the matter of what the hell is going on. And speaking of Mike Duckerberg, I want to kind of touch on this a little bit as far as for the people who are listening to this particular episode. I already kind of know exactly where the name comes from, which is clever and genius and strategic on your part, but kind of explain to the people the origin of Mike Duckerberg and where did that all started.
For your listeners, first of all, Mike Duckerberg, Just a Guy, is my little Facebook Live podcast that I do about 3 days a week. I call myself Mike Duckerberg, Just a Guy, fighting against the USSA. As Clifton said, I'm not a social influencer. I'm a social educator. I try to educate everybody on facts, on knowledge, on how to defeat the loony left.
As you should.
In fact, I had somebody from the loony left attack me on my social media spaces. And so, again, I'm not going to sit back. I called him out. I put his picture on my Facebook, and I had everybody say hello to him because he truly has Trump derangement syndrome. So I let everybody say hello. Well, he turned me in for being a bully. And surprisingly, when I went to Facebook to dispute it, they put it back up. So kudos to Facebook for putting it back up because they knew that I wasn't in the wrong. He attacked me first, and I simply called him out. So now I call myself, as you alluded to, don't worry about if you're sick of the LGBTQ, you now have the LLB. I'm your liberal. I'm your Looney Less Bully, right? He called me a bully. I'm going to own it. That's right. I'm your bully.
Yeah.
I'm going to knock you out. No issues, no punches pulled. If you're going to open your mouth, I'm going to show you that there are consequences for it. So yes, I am the LLB. I am the social educator. I am the Looney Less Bully. But
Yeah.
where the Mike Duckerberg actually comes from is I'm not a fan of Mark Zuckerberg, right? He definitely intrudes on the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, which I know is very adamant for you as well.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually in the process of just talking to people. I had one meeting so far. I'm thinking about trying to create my own social network where freedom of speech is truly the freedom of speech. And I'm thinking about calling it Instabook with your CEO, owner, and founder, Mike Duckerberg. That's where the name came from, was actually something that I would love to be able to create. So I know nothing about technology. So I got a couple of guys that I'm talking with to see if we can build this from the ground up. So just to get it out there, it'd be Instabook with Mike Duckerberg going up against Facebook with Mark Zuckerberg. So that's where the creation of the name came from. So
Love it.
we're in the process of doing that as well. But yeah, true.
We just got ourselves an exclusive here on the HFWB Podcast Series. Look out for Instabook starring Mike Duckerberg coming very, very soon, sooner than you think, possibly. And it's different and unique and it's strategic all at the same time, because it's like it's like, I wouldn't say necessarily a playful way, but it's more kind of like the 8 Mile Eminem approach, to where it's like he's taking everything that you throw at him, spinning it right back at you, to where you're basically like poking fun at him, and at the same time poking fun at yourself, to where it's like the person you're going at, they can't do anything about it, because it's like, what else is there to say? And it's kind of like what in that scene in 8 Mile, where he finishes the battle rap and he's like, here, go ahead, tell me something that these people don't already know about me. And then he throws the mic and then everybody erupts and goes crazy. So in that approach, it's strategic within itself. And I feel like you're definitely going to turn some heads and then some, in a good way, in a bad way. But at the same time, a reaction is going to get achieved out of it, to where people are going to eventually pay attention and they're going to gravitate towards it, no matter how much they love it or hate it, which is why we're pretty much in the space that we're currently in at this very moment. For all the people listening to the HFWB Podcast Series, if you have any advice for as far as anyone who's interested, as far as like the health and wellness space, owning a business within that, or even exploring politics a little bit, what would you tell that person listening to the HFWB Podcast Series right here, right now, Mike?
Couple things. One, don't be afraid to chase your dreams, right? The only people that never reach their dreams are the ones that never try to reach for it. Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to fail. You're going to fail multiple times. And there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you learn from your failures, you're good. And whatever you're trying to do the research, right? Figure it out. Look for what works. Look for what doesn't work. Follow the research, follow the trends.
Exactly.
And there's something that I learned from a wrestling CEO. He said, you're either going to be better than, be worse than, or be different than. I choose to be different than. Different than, sometimes you become better than. So whenever you're doing, whether it's in the political world, the business world, the health world, always look for your niche. If you can find something, and make sure you're passionate about it. That's also huge. Don't do it just because it's going to make you money. You'll find that you'll get bored with it, and you'll lose that passion, that drive. Make sure it's something that you're passionate about, that you're going to continue doing. That's why I'm in the health field. That's why I'm in the political world. These are things that I'm very, very passionate about. If you want any help, if you're out there and you want to get in better shape, contact Clifton, contact myself. I'll be happy to give you any information. If you're in the political venue and you want to make a difference, contact me. I'll get you in touch. Maybe I'm not in the Corpus area right now, but I can get you in touch with the proper people to help guide you along the way to start doing things as simple as handing signs out, knocking on doors, whatever the case may be. learning how to educate people, things like that. So if there's anything that anybody needs, any of your listeners, don't be afraid, reach out to me. We'll get all my information here at the end, and then we'll help out whoever we can. But
that's all we can do is just, provide the information to where they can be more informed, more educated, and at the same time they can grow within their overall wealth, as far as their health being their wealth, within their information being their wealth, and most importantly, those resources being their overall wealth. And at the end of the day, they'll just continue to evolve. And of course, that pentagon, the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, and the financial, they'll create so much abundance within all of that. It'll just become natural to them at this point, once they receive the proper information, knowledge, resources, and secrets, which will make them successful. I love all that. And that's how you and anybody else listening to the HFWB podcast series can basically stand out versus just trying to fit into the crowd, just like everybody else. Mike, we're actually at the point where I'm going to ask you a list of questions that I ask everybody who comes onto the HFWB podcast series, so we can dive into your story and your world a little bit more. First question is this, Mike. What is the first thing you do or think of every single day that you wake up, every single morning?
First thing I do every morning is I pray. I thank God for waking me up. I thank God for giving me everything that I have. I have a wonderful family. I have a wonderful life. So that is the very first thing that I do every morning is I pray and thank God.
Yep. You got to practice gratitude more so than anything, Mike. Be grateful for the big things, small things, everything in between. Next question is this. Of course, with the HFWB podcast series, the theme of health, fitness, wealth, business, as you know very well, Mike, health is wealth. You can't have one without the other. They're basically two sides of the coin. In your personal definition, Mike, what does health and wealth mean to you?
Health and wealth, what that means to me is you are living your life according to the way God wanted it to be lived. So when you follow the path of spirituality, you're going to be healthy. God will provide to you the wealth that's needed to you. So to me, wealth is all a derivative of the God, of our God and Jesus Christ. It's all here for us. And when we stay true, when we stay spiritual, and we put our faith in God, the health and the wealth will all be there. And that's where it all leads for me.
It will lead us to the promised land that basically God promised to all the great prophets looking back in history, from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob to Moses, as you alluded to, Jesus Christ. All of those prophets, it will lead us to exactly that, because that's what it goes back to. If you study the Bible and look back into the book of Genesis and Exodus, they'll basically paint that picture perfectly. My next question, Mike, is when you think of the word community, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
To me, it's a group of people that you operate with inside. Doesn't matter, black, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, man, woman, old, young. It's that group of people that you operate in around your area. So that's the community. And to me, a community is all try to help each other out, all try to make each other successful and move forward as one large group.
All righty, Mike. We're actually going to make a little transition into some either or questions, where I'll ask you which one you would pick out of either of the options that I present to you. The first one is this. Would you rather have loyalty or respect?
I'd rather have loyalty.
I love that. I love it. Would you rather live in space or live in the ocean?
I'd rather live in space. I'm a little bit scared of deep water, not going to lie.
I hear you on that. I hear you. Would you rather be famous and poor or anonymous and rich?
I'd rather be anonymous and rich.
Would you rather have unlimited free meals at your favorite restaurant or unlimited first class tickets?
I love to eat, man. I got to go with the free meals.
Can't go wrong with that. Would you rather dance to every song or sing to every song?
Man, if you heard me sing, you'd rather have me dance. And I can't dance either. So,
no, I respect the honesty. We're being honest here, always on the HFWB podcast series.
So
I hear you. I hear you. Now, picture this scenario, Mike. You're on a deserted island, trapped on this deserted island, but you have the option to listen to 5 of your favorite music artists of all time. It doesn't matter what genre it is, they could be their whole catalog of music. Who are those 5 music artists you would listen to?
I'd have to listen to Real Big Fish, Nirvana, Motley Crue. Absolutely love Michael Jackson. And fifth one, I probably have to say, probably Godsmack.
Nothing. I can respect that playlist without a doubt, and the diversity in the music there. You mentioned you love those free meals, Mike. What is your favorite go-to meal?
My favorite go-to meal is, well, for my body, my favorite go-to meal is fish and broccoli. For myself, my favorite go-to meal is steak and sweet potatoes.
I love how you mentioned steak and sweet potatoes, because that's actually what I'm about to get ready to have for dinner here shortly, which is kind of funny. I love that you can't go wrong with that combination for sure. Now, you're pretty much constantly on the go, constantly traveling on a regular basis. For those who haven't figured it out by now on this particular episode of the HFWB Podcast Series, Mike, where's the favorite place that you have traveled to thus far? And where's a place you would like to travel to that you've never been to yet?
Favorite place? Well, honestly, my favorite place that I've ever traveled to would be Corpus Christi. That's why, well, not just with my wife, but that's the reason why I decided to settle here too, was because it actually was. You can tell I come from up north, right? I'm a transplant, and so Corpus Christi was definitely my favorite place. And so after I met my wife, I settled here. But outside Corpus, I would say my next favorite place is Phoenix, Arizona. That was my favorite place before that. As far as visiting, the one place I would like to visit is South Dakota, because I would love to see Mount Rushmore in person.
That's
awesome
unique. I love it. I love it. Now, whenever you're not traveling, whenever you're not doing all the things you're doing on a regular basis, as productive as you are, Mike, what are some of your favorite hobbies that you like to do that many people may not know you like to do?
I love watching the adult cartoons like Bob's Burgers, American Dad, Family Guy, Futurama. I'll sit down and I'll binge watch those. That's one of my favorite things to do. I also just like to sit down with the family. We just like to laugh and have a good time and just be silly, I love it. One of the other things I like to do is watch my son. He's in a band. Anytime he's playing, it's one of my favorite hobbies to do, is just to go watch him and watch him excel and do his thing. Those are some of my favorite things that I do when I'm not traveling or working. So
I love it. Oh, and I almost forgot. I needed to ask you this question. As far as within your passion of wrestling, I thought about this earlier. Name your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers in your eyes.
In my eyes, we got to go Hulk Hogan, because there would be no professional wrestling without Hulk Hogan, regardless of how you feel, right?
That's facts.
Ric Flair, because the man at 80-some years old is still making waves in the community to this day.
Oh, yeah.
John Cena, just especially in the human being, not just in wrestling, but outside wrestling. He's made more Make-A-Wish Foundation wishes than not only any person, but any company in history too. The guy's absolutely.
I don't know about that as much as how much John Cena gives back to the community. That's why I have a whole nother level of respect for him alone. That's a great choice, actually.
I'm a huge fan of Brock Lesnar, just because quality, an actual wrestler. And my fifth one, I'd have to give it up to either Kurt Angle or The Undertaker. One of those two.
That's not a bad Mount Rushmore of wrestlers in their own unique ways, as far as the list of accomplishments inside and outside the wrestling ring. I could see that. I really can. I can't even be mad at you for that one, Mike. I really can't. My last question for you as we wrap everything up here. Picture you had the opportunity to go back in the time, say 10 years ago. What would you tell yourself, Mike? And at the same time, based on your current journey, where you are currently and going forward, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
Going back 10 years ago, I would have told myself to follow my dream of becoming a small business owner much earlier. I let other people talk me out of it. I was in a different situation. I almost opened up a supplement store 10 years ago, hesitated. So that my advice to myself 10 years ago is just do it. Do it now. That would be my advice. 10 years from the future, what I would like to see is TNT Health grow. I see great things for TNT Health within not just TNT Health for itself, but within the community. That I like to work with other small businesses. I would love to be able to have TNT Health be able to reach out and help other small businesses. We have different things that we're working on now where I got friends that do bodybuilding. There are no bodybuilding competitions in Corpus Christi anywhere. I would love to be able to bring a bodybuilding competition here to Corpus and have local small businesses be part of that vendor portion of it to help them grow. So as far as TNT Health goes, I would love to see the TNT Health grow and expand and be able to help the community more at the same time. So that's really where I see TNT Health. I don't want us being a GNC, a big box store, because the difference between TNT Health and every other store out there in the supplement industry is, again, we're very goal oriented towards our customers. And if you grow too fast, you lose that. In fact, when we look at our customers and we'll be hiring employees here shortly, we're not paying our employees on commission for the products. The employees get paid based on how many customers are happy in return. So if you've ever walked into like a GNC or a Vitamin World or things like that, or Vitamin Shop,
commission based.
So when you go in, you're like, hey, I'm looking for a fat burner. And you say that in August, they're going to say, oh, look, you should buy this fat burner. Then when you go back in there in September, I'm looking for a fat burner. They show you a completely different fat burner. Why? Not because that fat burner from last month is any worse than it was this month, but it's because they made $2.75 on that fat burner last month. And a new fat burner, they're going to make $3.25, and they're only making $1.75 on the fat burner they were making last month. So the salesman will often push you towards what they're going to make the most commission on. Our employees don't know what the commission is. They have no clue how much we're making on any products. All they know is if they sell to you, the customer, and you achieve your goals, which is our goal, then when you achieve your goals, you return and you bring other people with you. And as people return and the store gets more customers, we can then in turn give them bigger commissions on there and bigger bonuses on their checks, because they're making customers happy, so we can in turn make our employees happy. So we want to see a slow growth there. We don't want to see 50 stores in 10 years. So,
no, I love how you're so oriented based not only on the customers but for the community within itself. I mean, for people who haven't figured it out by now, it's like I've been working very closely with Mike, with his wife Seda, for like the last few months now, just for them allowing me to open. Basically, they opened their doors to allow me to distribute the CMOS products just so they could see other small business owners win. And if you walk into TNT Health, it's not just their products that they have. They literally have, they literally have my CMOS gummies there. They have a couple of other small business owners products that are there as well, to where it allows them to make a difference in everything. It's like they really understand the sense of not only the customers, but most importantly, the community within itself. And Mike, I definitely appreciate you for everything that you do within the community, within that aspect alone, yourself, and of course your wife, Seda, that I have nothing but the utmost respect for that. And I'm glad that we're even able to work together on things like that. Not only just to be able to make a difference and make an impact and being able to empower and uplift and basically inspire people just towards healthier living and just healthier lives. And with that being said, Mike, where can people get in contact with you? How can they get in contact with TNT Health? That way we can continue to make people's priority as far as their health a priority today and not tomorrow, like you alluded to.
Fantastic, Clifton. If you would like to, you can visit us online. If you're anywhere else besides Corpus Christi, it's tnt-health.com. That'll bring you right to our website. Look at all of our products. If you have any questions, you can either email us or you can call the phone number at the bottom, and I'll give that out at the end here. Or if you're in town, visit us at our store. It's right in Corpus Christi. It's 9450 SPID Suite 6B. It's in the Oso Bridge Plaza, right there in Flower Bluff. You can't miss us. We're right off the highway. We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6. Stop in anytime. See myself, see my wife. You'll probably see my wife, especially right now. I'm going to be out of the state. If you like, call. It doesn't matter if it's 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. I take phone calls from people all the time. It's 361-283-9105. That'll get you directly to me. I'll be happy to answer any questions, whether they're political and or about TNT Health. So again, 9450 SPID right here in Corpus, TNT-health.com online, or just simply call 361-283-9105. And we're going to help you attain your goal, because when you attain your goal, we've attained our goal.
I mean, well said, Mike. And the second everything you just said, definitely go by TNT Health. You won't be disappointed with the visit. I'm telling you. And I'm not just saying that just because I have my sea moss gummies there, and based on everything that Mike just explained to you, really do it just so we can help support basically local businesses here in Corpus Christi, Texas. That way we can help grow basically the economy locally to where we can really turn Corpus Christi, Texas into the sparkling city by the sea, as they call it. And it'll be a beautiful evolution of just healthier lives scattered all across the city of Corpus Christi, because most people seem to forget this. We still are one of the top 10 cities when it comes to obesity. So we still got some work to do. And I can guarantee you that TNT Health is going to definitely help streamline that process one day at a time, one step at a time. You heard it here from yours truly. You heard it here from Mr. Mike Dimarzo, and you'll definitely hear it from Miss Seda Salazar as well whenever you do go and visit her. She'll definitely keep you well up to date, up to speed, and all that. So with that being said, Mike, I just thank you for just making time out of your busy schedule to simply bless us with an appearance on the HFWB Podcast Series. This was a very informative, delightful conversation, and it was exactly how I pictured it, man. I'm glad that we finally got this done.
Thank you, man. It was my pleasure. It's definitely, like you said, it's long overdue. I'm glad we're able to fit this in. Glad you reached out to me when I was home, and always an honor to come on board and talk with you. So
yes.
Anytime you want me back, man, just let me know. We'll come back on and we'll do a deep dive into whatever you'd like.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely have plenty more conversations at the right moment and right time going forward. This is just only the beginning. So overall, with that being said, Mike, I thank you for, of course, taking time out of your busy schedule once again to be a part of the HFWB Podcast Series. I thank you once again. And just like that, y'all, it is yours truly, Clifton Pope, the host of the HFWB Podcast Series, encouraging everyone to stay healthy, wealthy, and blessed. Until next time, peace, love, and positive vibrations.